Hello, y'all. Welcome back. So usually I'm talking about the Gilded Era, which is the post-era after the Civil War, and it's where our government really began to turn its head around when they created the spoils system, and after Garfield was assassinated, the Pendleton Act, whenever we abolished the spoils system. But today I'm going to turn back the clock just a little bit, and we're going to do this little shindig called the Hokey Pokey, which was around the 1920s. And the reason I bring that up is because we have this looming death hanging around the balance of people who aren't supposed to be here, illegal immigrants. And it's not that they're not supposed to be here. It's just that they're not following through with their program. And I know this sounds kind of harsh, but I've been through programs, and I know a lot of people, there's a big turnover rate in any program you're going to find. There is a big turnover rate. I remember being in mental health court, and there were plenty of turnovers to remember, just to say those words. And I'm just letting you, in on a little secret. When they were doing this hokey pokey business, it was basically like there were so many homeless people back then that they had to figure out ways to get people money. And one of the ways people found money was by doing temporary work. They call them odd jobs. Odd jobs. That's what I call them too, is odd jobs. I mean, not the Mexicans, but they're supposed to be they're basically in a program, whether or not they have one. It's basically called temporary work. And that's what this podcast is really about right now. I want to promote and advocate, the temporary work program. Because, I mean, believe me when I tell you, if you're going to be an odd job, they have plenty of temporary work programs for you. You just got to go to the damn building, which I think is kind of odd. Because when I was homeless, I actually kind of embarrassed the company. And they took me in eventually, but I just kind of sat out on their porch. And I kind of embarrassed them, but I started working for them, sweeping up the porch, leaves, sweeping up the porch, doing cigarette butts and just kind of keeping the leaves clean during the fall. And it was a really fun job. I had to water the flowers. And I was kind of working for the actual... sorry, I had to take a breather for a second. I was actually kind of doing under the table work for the temporary work establishment in Norman, Oklahoma. And basically... I would watch, I'd watch and kind of wait to see if there was anybody I knew coming into the temporary work program. And there was hardly virtually anybody going into that damn place. I mean, I'd probably see maybe 3 to 4 people max. And I'm talking about max, there was never any more than, 3 or maybe 4 people showing up to temporary work program. And that's like a month, right? So in a month, we maybe help like 3 or 4 people. And that sounds, kind of religious in my head. But what I'm trying to point out is that these people who are illegal immigrants, it's not that they don't have green cards because it's too hard to get a green card. It's not too hard to get a green card. You just got to have a job and, be a productive citizen. So I'm thinking, this kind of makes me think of the spoil system a little bit. I'm thinking, what could happen besides, bad blood? Bad blood, it's like, I think the only thing I can come up with, the only excuse I can give these people for not, going to the, because I'm pretty sure the temporary work program isn't just for, people who are born in the United States. I'm sure it's available to the illegal immigrants. I'm just saying, they must be some sort of bad blood. They must have got fired for some reason and just given up on the program itself. That's all. I mean, I don't really know the details. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get banished for saying these things, but it's just kind of frustrating because I know that it's a hard job to do. But basically, when they're saying we have too many illegal immigrants, that's exactly what they mean. We have too many fucking illegal immigrants. So I rest my case. But I will just say this. I was kind of in the loop here because when I got disability, I kind of just... My grandma was talking to me. She says, you need to get a job. And I was like, hey, I'm on disability. She says, you can have disability and get a job. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? And she says, go look in the paper. And so I found this thing called HEO, heavy equipment operators. They were wanted in St. Louis. So I took a little bit of time in St. Louis. You can find me in St. Louis. Anyway, that's that. What's that name? Who is he? Nelly. Yeah, Nelly made that song. I don't really like Nelly, but my mom used to love Nelly, and she used to listen to that song all the time. And anyways, so just so you know, I may be a schizophrenic, and I'm not allowed to operate heavy machinery, but I do got my HEO, which is, a license to operate it. And I just thought it's so fancy, so flashy. I'll let you know, I got my HEO. I'm an operator. It's, my medicine, the medicine I take, they say I'm not allowed to operate heavy machinery. So I kind of just blasted my grandma. I was like, hey, can I go get my heavy equipment operator license? And they're like, yeah, I guess so. So I got a whole bunch of debt because of it. That's about it. All right, bye.